Movie notes on I, Frankenstein, 2014 film, 3 May 2026 viewing. Here I, Tanis, she, her, hers of Seattle, talk through my movie notes for my Sunday, 3 May 2026 viewing of the 2014 film I, Frankenstein, which is a fiction film about a Dr. Frankenstein human-like creation called into a shadow war a few centuries after he came into existence, while his physiological attributes draw scientific curiosity. So they have a book in here with a big F on it, and it's like, what, the 1700s, of the time of the Frankenstein. So, you know, a few centuries, like about 200 years later, is kind of more modern times. And so he's in more modern times, the human-like creation of Dr. Frankenstein. In here, it's Adam, portrayed by Aaron Eckhart, and if I'm recalling correctly, and it takes, and he's called upon to kind of help in this war between demons and gargoyles, and so there's that. It's kind of like the main storyline, and then there's like these two, like in a room in a lab, kind of scientists who, you know, have the works of Dr. Frankenstein, and they're just like, they kind of take marvel at the physiological attributes of this creature who actually still exists. And so it kind of goes down to like, what could kill it if it, you know, like it has all of these really cool physiological attributes, and there's a progression in here of like it becomes a he and stuff like that. But like, how could they take, there's scientific curiosity instead of curiosity of the scientific community, because, you know, there's like the private investor type role of like, but what if we made it and put it in the military? You know, so like there's like, but what could we do with this? And so this is actually one I've seen before, and it's big in my cardiology journey, in the cardiology study of the heart, and my self-experimentation journey, because it was kind of like it was a bit more triggering when I was in physics, and I think this is one where I was like, I should come back and see if the flare-ups and the trigger, like me getting triggered, if I lower my blood pressure, which I've done, I've mentioned before, I've lowered it consistently, like 20 to 30 points, like the kind of baseline change. And so there's I've done it, and it's interesting coming back, and there's still a few flare-ups, but for the most part it's more mentally calm. And so it was a big one, and it was actually an incentivizer to do my cardiology self-experimentation and blood pressure specifically. So I've kind of evolved in terms of for me it's confusion reduction. For some people it's stress, like different, if there's a variety of things that cause, let's say, high blood pressure or low blood pressure, it doesn't necessarily mean the variables are all the same for everybody. So like I can take and test a few things, but that doesn't necessarily mean what I'm gonna find is necessarily applies to everybody. Everybody's got a different body, so I've chosen to be more flexible in my research like that. And then I have a few other things. So Victor Frankenstein was victorious because he successfully created an animate human-like being. So good, in fact, the creature Adam is alive centuries later. The creature does not view himself so fondly and struggles with finding a place in the world/society and his own identity. As time has progressed, his appearance has perhaps become more gruesome to society. He is enlisted, to help in a shadow war, a war in which those fighting try not to be seen. They are mere shadows in terms of observable disruption to society. So it's kind of about these individuals with truly like superior to human abilities, you know, living in society and having this war, but the humans don't even necessarily see it. Right? Okay. So there's that, and then as a takeaway that, you know, perhaps started before the movie, but I was like, but it's very Frankenstein-y, but is it? Do I, Dr. Frankenstein, make Conan Dog my creature? I cut off a growth on the back of his neck at home. I equipped myself for squirrel surgery in an infirmary like the big toy / model airplane maker in The Flight of the Phoenix with Dennis Quaid. Then I'm asked to perform surgery on a much larger organism, the dog. Like the model airplane maker was asked, / big toy / model airplane maker was asked to make a passenger airplane fly. Well, if it comes to be Kona dog, shall we rise like the phoenix, like the creature Adam in this movie? We find a place, including knowing when to act and trying to act. Because there's enough sense of self that I'm like, I am Tanis, and he's like, I am Dr. Frankenstein. I am Adam. I am Dr. Frankenstein. I am Dr. Frankenstein, Aaron Eckert. Something like that. Anyway, those are my movie notes on I, Frankenstein, 2014 film, 3 May 2026 viewing.